What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and you absolutely just love to see it. And rarely do we get some retribution, and we're still $5 million short in matching the original funding for the truckers' convoy. But GoFundMe stealing, in my opinion, $10 million from the peaceful demonstration is now likely to be investigated by the FTC. Finally, perhaps we may get some absolute justice in terms of these woke morons who steal money because it doesn't fit their political ideology. You don't need to go that far into the past to see that GoFundMe has allowed large sums of money to flow into far left movements that were tied to law breaking and people even not surviving. We saw them allow money to go into Chaz, and various other left-wing peaceful events that turned out to not be peaceful, but GoFundMe never stopped that money from going through. But in the case of the trucker convoy in Canada, they've allowed, they just stopped $10 million from going through to the team. And quite frankly, there's videos out there where local law enforcement simply admitted to, and local government admitted to working with the with GoFundMe to remove it. Here's a Zoom call right here where I actually show you. I got to change where the audio comes out here because it's actually insane to hear it out loud. Seriously insane to hear it out loud. Here.
We have, through the efforts of Deputy Bell, Christiane Hinault, the mayor and his staff, we've been able to shut down the GoFundMe program. That's a temporary reprieve because the funds are already moving in different directions. We are now going after supply and fuel coming into the area through investigations and intelligence operations and interdictions.
This is actual insanity. They're talking about, they have these Zoom meetings where they're like, okay, well, this is what actual authoritarian fascism looks like, right? Like, they're removing, and I saw videos of them seizing diesel fuel. Why? Well, I don't know. Maybe you could tell me. We saw them shut down the GoFundMe platform Friday, announced it had frozen the convoy's official campaign, offering a justification that there was bad behavior connected to the Freedom Convoy and that the protest had turned into an occupation. The truckers are protesting Canada's poke mandates. Quote, "We now have evidence from law enforcement that previously peaceful demonstration had become an occupation." You mean like Chad and Chaz where you sent the money? Right? It said it had subsequently judged the fundraiser to be in violation of terms of service. And also what was funny was how they tried to and failed to essentially keep the money and then redistribute it to woke leftist charities that they wanted. Instead of just automatically, look, if you're going to do this, you just have to refund the money automatically, right? That's the only thing you can do. But that's not what they did. They said, we'll just keep it. We'll spread it around. We'll spread it around for you to GoFundMe trusted sources, which we know exactly what that would have been. There are probably funds for bad actors and infiltrators that they would have sent the money to instead. From what I've seen, there's been absolutely no bad behavior. If there was anything at all, it was extremely limited. And there are a lot of questions. There are a lot of questions of whether or not the person who was doing it was even connected with the trucker convoy. There was a video that I'm probably going to cover over on Midwestly of some kid that is definitely not a trucker trying to burn, set a fire inside of a building. And then it was reported that he was with the truckers. The guy looked like he injected soy mainline. He's no trucker, guaranteed. But you see, however, despite the concern about the quote occupation in 2020, the platform not only allowed, but it gave its backing to a social media fundraiser for a farmer working in the left-wing Seattle protest, which occupied a 6-block area downtown. In a community with no police, this farmer is feeding people and bringing them closer together. Learn how you can support Marcus's mission within CHOP. You mean the autonomous zone where people lost their lives? You mean that one? The one that literally called itself a occupation? Now, you might be hoping. So now that GoFundMe backed out, GiveSendGo has taken over. And they've already raised $4.9 million, and it's going up like, here's 4.943, 4.965. Went up $20,000 in like 5 minutes. $5 million is a lot of money, but it's still only half of what they had before. This is exactly what they wanted. This was like their worst case scenario. What they said was, well, worst case scenario, we'll cut their funding, which is exactly what they did. They're never going to get to 10 million again. It's unlikely. Maybe, but there's a reason that GoFundMe did this on a Friday night under cover of darkness. They knew that that a huge percentage of the people that donated the first time, they would either be completely unaware that their donation didn't go through, or they will have other expenses that came up, or they don't want to sign up to another website to donate money, or they don't even know. They don't even know about it. 52,000 people have donated to this already. I suspect it'll be close to 100,000 by the end of the week. We are a peaceful country that has helped protest nations from across the globe. This is the same thing. That money raised will be dispersed to our truckers to aid them with the cost of this journey. Funds will be spent to help cover the cost of fuel for truckers first and foremost, will be used to assist with food if needed and to contribute to shelter if needed. Well, $5 million is going to keep them running for quite some time. People forget just how many truckers there are in this country, in this nation, by the way. Here's one that's processed but not recorded yet. $215,000. $215,000. It's not even in the total yet. Here's one for 20K, 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 18K, 18K, 15K, 10, 10, 9. Pierre Elite Trudeau Blackface, $9,000. Lots of, not a lot of that silent majority. I'm sorry, what did Trudeau call it? A minority? It looks like a lot of Canadian donors to me, by the way. 4.965. I wonder if it's gone up in like 10 seconds. Went up another $5,000. With 200 grand more, so that's going to push it over 5 million. And now, Ted Cruz requests investigation into GoFundMe after fundraiser shutdown. Ted Cruz demands FTC launch investigation into GoFundMe for seizing trucker Convoy funds. The Canadian truckers are heroes, Cruz said. Today, I sent a letter to the FTC asking that they open an investigation into GoFundMe into whether they've committed deceptive trade practices, Cruz told Fox News' Maria Bartiromo Sunday Morning Futures. Because when people gave money, they gave money under the promise it would go to the Freedom Convoy and not whatever left-wing political ideology GoFundMe and other Silicon Valley companies support. They are deceiving consumers and it's wrong. On Friday, GoFundMe ended the fundraiser to Canadian truckers protesting federal government's vaccine poke mandate for cross-border truckers. And you see Ron DeSantis. It's fraud for GoFundMe to commandeer $9 million in donations sent to truckers and give it to causes of their own choosing. I will work with Attorney General Ashley Moody to investigate the deceptive practices. These donors should be given a refund. Now, they were refunded. But they crippled the funding. what GoFundMe should have done is just transfer the $9 million to GiveSendGo, don't you think? To make sure they got all that money. Now, granted, I am always nervous when you're talking about all this money, 9, 10, 12, 15 million. These money do tend to disappear into black holes. We don't need to look further than the BLM organization having now 60 million in question or whatever, getting shut down and sued in California. But I certainly hope the FTC buries GoFundMe in litigation. I hope Ted Cruz actually follows through. Ted Cruz always knows what to say, but he often fails to follow through or get any real stuff done. But I'm hoping that, it was at $10 million in donations in CAD, by the way. I don't know what the transfer, so maybe it is actually closer now. This is in USD. I don't know I don't really actually know. Maybe CAD's worth more than USD. I don't know. But, I certainly hope the investigation opens very quickly, is very long, and very expensive. Hope you enjoyed this video. Never use GoFundMe again. We'll talk to you again real soon.